What do you need an S11 for? Welcome to Conversations About Mining. Hi, Jess. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks, Andrew. How are you going?
Yeah, good. Thank you. So you've got a question for me that we always
I,
get asked.
I do have a question for you, and it's a question you're going to love answering. I want to work in mining. I'm green and I'm here in WA. What do I need my S11 for? I'm going to get my S11. What do I need it for?
Oh my God, this does my head in. Okay, so the reason Jess is laughing and enjoying herself so much is because unfortunately, there are some training companies over here in WA that seem fit to sell the S11 here in WA, even though the S11 is only for coal and only in Queensland. So you don't need it for any of the hard rock jobs around the country, nor can you use it in coal mining in New South Wales. They've got their own coal thing that they get you to go and do themselves. You can't use it in South Australia. It's not applicable over here in WA. The one coal mine that we've got here in WA does their own inductions down there. It's just, it really does my head in when people approach me saying, I just spent $800 doing an S11. That doesn't really teach you anything about mining anyway. If you've got a Cert 3 in anything these days, then you've probably already done the safety units that they're going to put you through. And most of the S11s that they sell around the country are the ones that you just do 2 days in the classroom, and then you've got to get a job and you've got to do the actual mining training on the mine site. So it doesn't actually teach you anything about mining at all. And the perspective that I get from a lot of people is disappointment after they've done it, because like I said, most people have done the units already as part of their current job and they didn't learn anything about mining. And it just completely does my head in that there's a training company over here that regularly fills out a classroom of people that buy the S11 thinking that they're going to get a mining job. And then, if you don't mind me ranting a little bit more, you go to the other flip side of it, and then you look at it from a foreman's perspective when they get a resume with an S11 on it thinking it's going to get them a job. What sort of muppet have I got here? I mean, really, I'm sorry, but, you've done all your research into it, and this is what you've come up with. I mean, how good an employee are you going to be? I mean, you've been sold a course that you can't use. It's easy to go online and see that you can't use it. The reputable companies that sell it in Queensland, it states all over their websites that this is only for coal in Queensland. You can't use it on a hard rock mine. It's only for coal. And the issue with coal at the moment is that it's $105 a ton, which makes it about $160 Australian a ton. And at that price, these coal mines are shutting down in Queensland. They're not opening up. But if you're trying to get a gold mining job in South Australia or New South Wales or here in WA or anywhere around the country, Queensland included, and you're relying on an S11, you are barking up the wrong tree. And all you're doing is saying to the person hiring you is that you don't know how their mine works. And there's nothing worse than saying that on a resume to somebody.
Definitely. And so just to reiterate, the S11 is basically not valid and not usable in any state except for Queensland and only for coal mines. There is one coal mine in WA. There is not hundreds. It's not a booming industry, no matter what all the news channels may tell you. And yes, if you're getting an S11 and you're looking for a coal job in Queensland, then awesome. But otherwise, you are wasting your time and your money. And you're also, like Andrew said, making everyone that is reading your resume well aware that you have no idea what is happening in the industry or how anything works.
Yep. And the amount of resumes that I see come through that basically state up the top, oh, I've just done my S11 and I've got my rigid dump truck ticket. I'm all ready for my mining job now. You might as well scream, I don't know anything about mining, and I did research and I found out even less. Because they can't use those, the hard rock mines around the country. They don't use the R2 tickets. Again, it's only coal in Queensland that uses the R2 tickets, and at the moment, coal in Queensland's not hiring.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you're looking for a civil job that is FIFO, that is, but that's not going to get you into a production role. That's it's different kettle of fish, different pond. You're not going to get up there and then get into a production role using that dump truck ticket. I get that a lot too. I've done my Moxie and my dump truck, and I've done this and I've done that, and I'm ready to go. And it's like, well, sorry, you've actually got no experience, so you're not ready to go.
And it's such a huge part of the way they re-engineered the safety system. So they made it so every site you go to, you've got to redo all your equipment tickets. So that site's directly responsible for anything that happens with you on that site. It's such a huge part of the way they fix safety. And to not understand that and just to go in there thinking that you can blindly use an R2 ticket in the production side of things, again, like I said, it just, it screams Muppet, unfortunately. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody. I'm just trying to give people a really good understanding of where they are with it all, because the foremen, they don't have time to, they're under the pump all the time, and picking out new starters isn't a chore that anybody likes doing, because you'll pick 10 people, and if you hire those 10 of those people, then 6 of them or 7 of them are going to fail. And it just becomes relentless, and it becomes a chore, and it becomes something that you try and palm off to other people, and you just try and get away from it, because nobody likes dealing with all the failure that's involved in it as well. So, and that's people's and that they don't understand, when as soon as you show the foreman or the project manager or whoever's doing the hiring that you understand how the mine works, it's like they found $100 note on the ground, because from their perspective, they just have to onboard you like normal, teach you how to drive the truck, and they've got a productive member of crew in 3 or 4 weeks instead of 2 or 3 months. But yeah, it really does my head in when people approach us having done S11s and doing S11s and signing up for S11s, thinking that that somehow is going to get them a job. I know a lot of companies, they talk about it as being a nationally recognized thing. It's nationally recognized through the education system. It's not nationally recognized through any of the mining companies. And the big thing that I implore people to do is just Google some job ads. Just go and type underground into Seek. You'll see that nobody in the hard rock side of things is asking for an S11 or any equipment tickets. All they want is experience. They just want people that know how it all works. It's only coal in Queensland that asks for the S11. And then most times they're supposed to pay for it anyway if they hire you.
And that's the other thing that's changed, even if you are living in Queensland and you are looking at getting into coal, most 99% of the time, they will put you through your S11. It's not a minimum requirement anymore. It's usually just this standard of your, your white card, your driver's license, your police clearance, and they usually say S11 will be provided, or that will be part of your induction process.
Yep.
So again, you're not doing yourself any favors, because you're going to have to probably do it again through the company anyway. And you've just wasted $100.
Yeah, exactly. And and you don't need it for any of the hard rock mines. And like I said, if you've got it on there, if you've done it already, that's fine. Just move it down towards the bottom, put it in the priority order. I always tell people on their resumes, and I know Jess does this as well, when you're doing the educational thing, you always put the stuff that's going to get you the job at the top. And, once you work out the S11's probably not going to get you the job that you thought it was, you just scoot it down below the, the training that we do, and any of the first aid and working at heights courses or anything like that you've got, just put it in appropriate order. It's like putting your degree last. If you've got a degree, I often tell people the way to deal with a degree when you're going for a blue collar job is to put it last in your education thing. So you yourself are telling the person on the other end that I recognize that this job isn't going to be, I don't need my formal education for this, and I need the things that are above that for this. And that sends a good message, to people that are hiring.
It does, and it shows them that you have an idea about how it all works. Again, I have a lot of people that are coming from overseas that are engineers or tradesmen of some sort that have degrees in something that's not recognised here, and maybe they're in the transitional stage of getting it changed over or seeing what's recognised here. So yeah, you definitely should be focusing on what is recognised here and what is actually the minimum requirements for those roles that you're going for. Don't highlight, I'm an engineer. If your engineering qualification isn't recognised here, then you kind of may have to start at the bottom and work your way up. So definitely have a think about which order you're putting things in and what is relevant to the job you're going for and what is recognised here in Australia.
Yeah, and don't do your S11 unless you're going for coal in Queensland. And with what they charge for an S11, you could buy a 3-step plan for that, and that includes your resume. I mean, definitely. It's just crazy. I just see it as, people just doing a cursory amount of research, finding the first thing that they believe on the internet, reading it, and then just jumping off from there. And that's never good, from any perspective. But it doesn't help you at the other end with the foremans and the project managers that do the hiring. Because it's, it just shows you that you can't do any research.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, thanks for the question. And if you could share this video around and like and subscribe the channel. Thanks.
Thank you.